Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the cabin. It's a beautiful fall day out here. It's just a little bit nippy. I've already got a fire going down there in the workshop. We've got another door that we're going to have to build before I take a break and start on Jennifer and Steven's shed. Since they got moved in down here, they've got to have a place to store their stuff. But before I do that, I want to be able to close up this workshop. So let's take a look and see what we did in the last video. If you notice, I didn't oil this side right here because I didn't do the inside of the workshop. Not really sure. I may just go ahead and put a clear coat over this, which would kind of match what I've got going, the theme I've got going on the inside. Still need to knock down a few spots of some glue, but I think that it turned out nice just with burning it right there. Looks really good. I still have to put the door stops on the back here, but at least I can shut this door and keep this area closed off from the outside because I do need to, like I said, build him a shed. Let me show you what I've got in mind doing today. Well, I don't have enough glue left over to start that second door, but what I can do, I have enough material saved that we can do the face on the inside of the door frame right here and possibly the trim on the outside. So let's go ahead and get busy and get that portion done, and I'll pick up some glue where we can start this second door. I think what I'm going to do is getting just a little bit too warm. I'm going to change into this sweatshirt right here. Well, I've got some material right here that we need to cut up, but I need to change the oil in the sawmill first, so let's get that done. Well, I don't know how easy this is going to be to see, but here's the hose that I've got to drain this with. So, put the wrench on there, open that up, and drain this oil out. This makes it a whole lot easier to change the oil when you have a hose like this. My other sawmill didn't have that. Well, we got the oil drained, so let's put the cap back on the end of it. That's good. Here's the old oil. It doesn't take much. I've got a rag back in there. We want to get this oil filter loose now. Alright, on this new one, I'm going to take some of this oil, put on this gasket, and then slide it back on there. I might just put just a little bit of turn on it right here. Okay. I'm using this synthetic 10W30. It requires 10W30. So since this is the first oil change, we're going to go with synthetic. We're going to use that from now on. This engine takes 2 quarts of oil. Before we put that top back on, let's check it and see. I think it's had a chance to drain down. Oh yeah, we're right there. Well, I forgot to turn the camera on while I was cutting these, but y'all have seen me do that before, right? At least we got the oil change. That was the main thing. See about getting this one in there. Get a few of these curlies off there. Let's see if we can get this top part cut. Get a few of these fuzzies knocked off of there. Make it look better. Now, well, I think it's going to look better that way. There we go. How about that? That makes it look a lot better. Get these pieces glued up now, and we'll have our second door made. get these down here and see if we can arrange them in an order that will work for the majority. I've got a brand new bottle right here, and then I've got what's left over. So I think that these are kind of laid out the way that we need to start. So let's begin. These older type pipe vices that I have here, had to put a pair of channel locks and a clamp on that to get these tight, because these other ones that I've got over here, they only go 36.5, and I've got actually 7 pieces right here, so they're not wide enough. This one was, but I had to use those other 2. But I believe that I have it set about where it needs to go. It's about the best that I can do with it. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll let it set up there. Then we'll be able to square it out and hopefully get it put in. Alright guys, I just cut these right here. This is the stock that's going to go around the door to strengthen it. And then these 2 pieces right here are the door stops. So I've got those cut and ready to go, and then we've got this door laying in here just chilling. What I'm doing is taking the glue up there in the cabin, because nights kind of like we're getting into now could get down into freezing. And I'm also going to have to get some of that winterize the water tank for the sawmill there, so that I can cut during the wintertime. I use that RV fluid that you put in RVs to keep them pipes from freezing, and that's what I use during the wintertime. Well, now we're going to take a look at this door, see how it turned out. This one's a little heavier than the other because it is wider. Well, let's get this brushed off. This is always the fun part when you get to cut the door out. And I think what I'm going to do is turn the worst side facing towards the sawmill. That way, when I'm sitting down there in front of the fire during the wintertime, I'll have a nice side of the door to look at. We get 2 marks just for grins. We'll line them up. Make sure our end's square. That is. So we'll line this up here. That over here, get it square with this corner. Then we just turn the bad side down and the good side up. We've got it made. Well, I'm going to get this marked right here. Let's see, right about there, I think. Get that marked. Cut that, see what it looks like. Well, I kind of have this door set where I think it's going to work the best, so we'll go ahead and get this attached, and then we'll get our latch put on there. And then the only thing that's going to be left is to make some handles for the inside. This door I don't actually have to burn or anything because I didn't do any of the rest of this, so we're just going to let it weather and age along with the rest of it. Alright, let me get some of these wedges out of here. Okay, how about that? A working door. Take that out and get us a door stop in there, and then get our latch put on there. But yeah, I think that's going to be really nice. Two of those, so let's just put these side by side. Make it 74 and 3/8, right? There. Right, both ends are equal. We'll put that right there and draw our line. Now let's see if we can get some of our fuzzies off of here. Well, we got the door hung, so let's see if we can get our latch put on there. That will be nice. I don't remember which one of these bits, but one of these, I think it was this largest bit right here. Yeah, that's it right there. So let's get that marked where we need to go. There's the top, and there's the bottom. You know, I have had some people want to know why did I put the braces on the outside. Because I like it like that. I like to look at that from the outside. Leave the smooth side on the inside. You know, everybody's got a different taste. To be honest with you, I really don't want something that other people have. I want something unique. That's why everything up here is kind of different than the norm. See how that works. There we go. A little bit more. Now, that can't pull out and pull away if somebody tried to beat the door down from the inside. Yeah. Alright, now we gotta run and see if we can find this handle somewhere. Well, I'm not sure where we're gonna find a door handle at, but I've got the battery operated chainsaw, so I figured we just take a little walk and see if we can spot something that we can use. You see what I see right there? Well, sometimes you don't have to go very far before you find something, so I've got this stick right here. We'll fine tune it when we get it back down here and get it on the door. Well, I got a little bit of glue on this, so I think I'm ready to put it in there. Let's see. There's one side, and like right there. How's that going to work? Oh yeah. Just like the other door. Well, look at this. Short sleeves and sunshine. And sunglasses. Did I say that right? I tell you what, it is such a beautiful week this week. Really nice temperatures, like up around 65, between there maybe and 70, and then the low around 50 at night. Good sleeping weather. So I tell you what, it is really nice to have doors on this workshop. This door right here turned out really nice, like that front door too, but I think that the coolest thing about this, like somebody, I sent them a picture, they said the best thing about that was the handle. Now that was my friend Jimmy. Really nice and easy, back and forth. And I think what I might do, I'm not really sure if I'm going to hang that dartboard on the back of this door or on the front door. Sometimes they pop off. I'd hate for the point to try to dig into the rocks right there, so I think probably up front would be better. Well, now we've got a really nice place to keep our tools. They're not all scattered about now. They're all in one central location and they're out of the weather. That was the main thing of getting those doors put on and keeping the critters out as well. So it's really nice to have all of my tools in one location. Then when I have a chance to build some cabinets and kind of get some of this stuff put away and position where it's supposed to go and some workstations, it will really be nice to come down here and have tools at your fingertips to be able to do and work on the projects that you've got planned and outlined to do. And speaking of projects, let's take a walk and go talk about our next project. Well, I thought I'd bring a few jugs with me and collect some water while I'm down here at Jennifer's house. So this is where our next project is going to take place. They need some sort of a shed to be able to put stuff in because one of them has to park outside. They can't get everything in the garage as far as both vehicles because they have too much stuff. So this is what we're thinking about doing. Right out here towards the edge of the house, over there where those pallets are sitting. So right here you can see not too far from the edge of the house is those pallets right there, which is kind of like the crest of the yard right here where it starts to slope. And then you can kind of get another idea where these pallets are sitting right here from this angle. So my thought and my idea was getting a reference from the corner of the house there. That pallet is probably about 20 feet away from the end of the house. My idea is to make the corner of the shed go from there, make it go in this direction. That way if we came out about 12 feet and we went about 16 to 20 feet in length, that would give them a nice size shed and they would still be able to kind of like drive up into it if they needed to from the front or have easy access compared to if we put it anywhere else where they're going to be on a slope somewhere. The only other thing that you could do would be face something this way. That way, when you're driving from the top, you would be driving into something, but then you have to look at it, you know, because it's going to be facing you broadway. So that just wasn't an option. It was going to have to be put against, like this bank or against something, and still be able to have easy access, like with a lawnmower, rototiller, or something like that. Now right there is a whole lot of metal in there, and I'm not sure if she's got enough to actually do all of the sides of the building or not, but there's quite a bit of metal that we saved right there. Then they have 10 pieces left over that are 3 feet wide, that are 20 feet long, that were from the back of the house. You can see how long those were. They have 10 pieces of that left. And if you cut that in half, you've got 10-foot lengths, and then you've got 20 pieces. So 20 pieces, that's 60 feet because they're 3 feet in width, right? So they can build a darn good sized shed with what they've got left over. But that's what's going to be the next project that I've got in mind. So I've got 3 logs laying out here right now that I'll probably start and cut those up into 2x6s. They're 12 foot long, so that will get them a good start. Anyway, friends, thanks so much for stopping by, hanging out with us here at the cabin. We certainly do appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back up here again next time.